Stephen King's It is out in theaters, and some book fans are worried about a controversial scene. But don't worry, we're gonna talk about it. Spoilers ahead for the movie It.
But it's not in the movie.
There it is. There's the spoiler.
Oh, whoops.
No, it's okay.
All the It book readers who haven't seen any,
any of the miniseries or
they're all like, no, NerdAlert.
Yeah,
Ruined
so It is about this monster, this demon. They don't really explain it in the movie because I have seen it, but it takes on the form of whatever you fear the most. And it terrorizes this group of kids in a small town in the 80s. And in the book, the kids kind of get lost in the sewer system, and it's apparently like this big old metaphor of them having sex with the one girl in the group as a transition into manhood. And she's like, this is what we must do to bring us together. It's like, all right, Beverly, settle down.
Yeah, because apparently they start to kind of mentally fall apart. Just like, no, we have to stay together. And then in the book, to do that, they have an orgy.
Yeah.
Stephen King
in the sewers.
Yep. Stephen King was like, "This is the only way to show the togetherness of children."
That's the direct quote, but we do have the quote from Stephen King. We want to pull it up. I wasn't really thinking of the sexual aspect of it. Intuitively, the losers knew that they had to be together again. The sexual act connected childhood and adulthood. Now that is the nickname that they kind of gave their group of friends, is the losers. So they would be like, "Welcome to the losers."
I wasn't thinking about the sexual aspect when I penned in several sex acts into this sex scene.
I mean, the 80s was a crazy time, and
yeah, Stephen King was a little off the rails in the 80s also.
Yeah, Stephen King
calmed down a bit.
He like built up his reputation of having like shocking, weird, gross things in his novels, and I think that this was no exception. Even though, like looking back at it, is like maybe this was problematic and we shouldn't have had it, especially with like the lack of protection or like sexual awareness, and like these are children.
Yeah, and there's so many other ways to show that, you know, to bond them together. Like you could have done it through writing.
Yeah, well, Cary Fukunaga, who was originally on board to do the screenplay for it, Cary Fukunaga and Chase Palmer, their original screenplay had her kind of going to each of the boys and had Beverly like touching them in the face, and like it was a connection, it was a moment, and they scrapped that, and they were gone from the project due to creative differences. Yeah. And the character of Beverly has changed so much from like what you see in the original screenplay for this movie as to what has been released in theaters. She's kind of troped out and put into that damsel in distress mode.
The boys have to get together to save her.
Right.
Because she gets taken by the clown man.
Yeah.
I just, and then it ends with like a Hollywood kiss, and spoilers, but just seriously, like why do they're children, like goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Goodness sakes.
I mean, I will say that it does kind of play towards the 80s tropes, and so when you're watching it, I think they wanted to invoke kind of that nostalgia that like Stranger Things did, where it feels like an 80s movie, and those kind of elements lend itself to feeling like an 80s movie. But it's 2017, we don't have to live in the 80s.
Yeah,
you know?
it's true.
The woman doesn't have, or the lady doesn't have to be in distress, you know what I mean? The girl character.
Yeah, and then like literally 3 characters don't have to be in love with her.
It's
okay, we can just be friends.
Yeah.
No,
and I think that's what Stranger Things did well. Like not only was Eleven a badass, but she was a friend, and like there was a little bit of the love thing. But
but it was mostly like just the bond of the friendships. Like the other boys who she did not, like Eleven didn't have like a romantic interest in or whatever, was just they were just like, but we still like need you, and you're part of our group.
You're important, Yeah, so audience, let us know what you thought of the new It movie and where the character of Beverly was taken. And if you are disappointed that they left out the orgy scene, go ahead and leave that comment down below. And make sure to like and subscribe for more. Kim Horcher is tented up in my backyard. She's going through a rough time right now.